Welcome to Pardon the Penetration. I am Jay.
Welcome back. I feel like I haven't seen you in ages. Like you
Don't
found the guy.
don't
They
do
finally let you
that.
out.
Don't do that. I would like to say I saw every episode when I was said locked up, and how y'all weren't gonna put no money on my commissary and gonna bail me out. No nothing. Couldn't even get help me Howard.
You're good now. You got out. Like we have faith that legal system would prevail and you'll be good.
Anyways, hopefully in the future, well, definitely in the future, we will have an episode to talk about burnout.
Yes,
and my
it's real.
brief little vacation stint.
I saw you on IG stunting. So vacation must have did a little bit of something. You should have saw her. She was showing out.
Y'all should not have seen me, but it was definitely much needed. I feel so much better now.
Yeah, so we'll talk about ways to cope with that. Maybe even some other stuff like some diversity in tech and
code switching.
Oh yeah, that's big.
Definitely. But this week we will talk about the Air Force investigating a cyber attack from the Navy, Snapchat abusing data access and spying on their users.
Okay.
A city in Texas got hit by ransomware, of course. And also, I'm missing the last one. I'll tell you about the email I got while I was on vacation.
That doesn't sound good, but
it's annoying, really.
Right, but I understand. It's like same week, same thing. A company called First American Financial Corp actually leaked hundreds of millions of mortgage records. We finally found the cause of what happened to Baltimore and why they got attacked. And a company called HCL actually went out and they found out that they were leaking customer and employee data on a public server.
I realize we talk about like the same thing every week. It just happens to be like a new company name.
Yes, plug and play. At this point, it's like the Player of the Week award for who has the worst security.
That's terrible, man.
At this point,
that's terrible. But the first article I have to talk about is kind of like siblings beefing with each other. The Air Force is investigating a cyber attack from the Navy.
How does that even work?
So this stems from like a decision by a Navy prosecutor. He decided to send an embedded hidden tracking software into emails sent to defense attorneys, including an Air Force lawyer who's involved in a high-profile war crimes case for a Navy SEAL out in San Diego. So the tracking device was an attempt to find out who was leaking information to an editor of the Navy Times. So this is the Navy Times against the Military Times. But pretty much the Air Force defense lawyer figured out something's funny about his computer, and he reported it to the IT people. And it was basically the IT people were able to detect that it was a Splunk tool.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Which allowed the sender of the malware to gain full access to his computer and all of his files on the computer. So they're treating it right now, the military is treating it as a cyber intrusion on their network. And they've seized all of the military council's computers and phones for review.
I feel like the Navy prosecutor is going to get this part.
I don't know what would, is ever that serious?
They're trying to cover up something, or he feels they're trying to cover up something, and he's trying to prosecute and get it. This is ridiculous.
Well, that's petty.
It's very petty.
But we'll see how it ends up if we hear anything back.
I'm not a homeowner, but I could feel like one of the worst things that could happen is, besides lose your house, is your mortgage documents and stuff like that gets leaked. Like that has doesn't that have a lot of information on it?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so. First American Financial Corp, actually, they realized that they were leaking out mortgage documents dating back to 2003. It included bank account numbers, statements, mortgage tax numbers, social security numbers, even driver license images. It was discovered last week, and they figured out that if you knew the URL for a document link, that if you change a couple numbers in there, that you can actually get to another document. So a researcher was originally given a document by the company from a recent transaction that occurred back in April of 2019 that had a reference number on there. So when he changed the reference number, either forward or backward, it would go to another person's account with all their information and the transaction history. So it seems like they were issuing these records sequentially.
The amount of information they ask when you're trying to buy a home, like they practically want your blood type too.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know too much about application security.
It's definitely up there with. This is definitely up there for the secure coding practices.
I was about to say, I got to go through the OWASP top 10 again. Like, I know there's something that they definitely violated.
Yeah.
Like, why have it sequential?
It makes no sense. They could have maybe even a penetration test on their system could have easily.
I was about to say, we missing something here. 1 + 1 just ain't adding up.
Right.
But definitely that was poor security practice. So the security researcher, did they just have time on their hands and decided to change the number, or were they working for the company?
They're probably working for it. Probably doing some research. That's probably how it happened. Probably was from pen test, but they didn't really say.
Okay. Do you still use Snapchat?
No, because Rihanna said not to.
If Rihanna told you to jump off a bridge and kill yourself, would you be doing that?
Hi, Rihanna.
All right. Well, I'm not too sure how, I don't think we've ever talked about Snapchat.
No, because Snapchat decided not to get bought out by someone we always talk about on here. And they probably haven't had these problems.
Well, they got their own problems. So okay. Snapchat employees abuse data access to spy on users. Several departments inside of the social media company Snapchat have dedicated tools for accessing user data, and multiple employees have been abusing it. What's new? But 2 former employees spoke on like an internal tool called SnapLion.
Okay.
So basically the tool is only for purposes like if they were ever subpoenaed by the court, or the FBI law enforcement reach out to them, they're able to pull whatever information and send it back to them.
Understandable reasons they would have that.
But they're able to get people's locations, their phone numbers. Also, Snapchat allows you to like do like a video, use a filter, you can save it, you don't even have to post it. Right. They have access to that. So I'm just like, the price that you pay for using all of these like social media options, it's just like there is no privacy.
There is none, and I think that's what they cover in those terms and conditions. That those agreements that you don't read when you're scrolling through.
You basically agreeing to give your life away.
Right, and people have to realize when you post, everyone's like, "Oh, once you post stuff on the internet, it's
there forever."
It is. So,
but in that case, it's like I'm not even posting it, and you still have access to my personal life. And at the end of the day, what you think something is private is like...
It's being backed up somewhere. It's being stored somewhere.
I read a tweet, I think, earlier today. I think her name on Twitter is Stella. But it was basically like along the lines of, like conduct yourself as if that snap, that tweet, that direct message would be read in a courtroom aloud.
I totally agree with that.
That's disappointing, but I know they even had other social media employees that were, even stalking like their exes through these privacy tools and all this other stuff. But I don't know, man. I gotta get like a flip phone or something.
Yeah, go back to next time we can chirp. Well, Baltimore finally figured out what was the reason for their attack. And it's actually kind of sad. It goes
how many weeks has it been?
This started on May 7th, so almost the whole month of May is when this started happening. And it's sad because it goes back to an unpatched vulnerability. And it's a pretty big vulnerability. So they found out that the NSA tool EternalBlue was the exploit that was used. And for those of you out there who don't know, EternalBlue was a tool that was developed by the NSA. They had it in 2017. It actually got stolen from them. They were using the tool to exploit vulnerabilities. They knew of a vulnerability from Microsoft for about 5 years allegedly, and didn't reach out to Microsoft and tell them. This would affect XP machines, Server 2008, 12, all the way up to Windows 10. They never told them until it got stolen. Once it got stolen, Microsoft patched it the next day, but a group called Shadow Brokers went ahead and released it. And once they released it, it ended up being being used in some of the most devastating attacks like WannaCry. And for those who don't know, WannaCry is a ransomware that had encrypted over It had impacted over 10,000 organizations, 200,000 individuals, and 150 countries in just the weekend that happened. And
companies were sick, organizations were sick that whole weekend when that happened.
They've accounted for over about probably $49 billion worth of damage that's been done just by WannaCry alone. And it goes back to you had to patch. You can patch your XP machines. All your machines can be patched for it.
But why? But the thing is, a lot of the times when you talk to companies about why they're using like XP, why they're using like these Windows 7 computers, is because they'll say it's not in the budget to upgrade the software, the hardware, or whatever, right. Or they're using like a really outdated software on their systems that needs to run on like XP.
Yeah, and that stuff that's out of date. Now, it was end of life at that time, but Microsoft even went back and said, "Hey, we're going to patch it because it's that bad." And you know what was also out of the budget for Baltimore was cybersecurity insurance. Their CISO told them last year to put this in the budget, and now they don't have it. And now this happens, and they don't know. They'll be down for a couple more weeks.
How was the city even operating? Because I know didn't it affect like law enforcement, like
everything except for emergency services. So people trying to pay mortgages, trying to do anything, water bills, utilities, all that's affected. They're trying to do everything by hand now, and they don't have backups. Is the other thing.
All right. Well, a city in Texas called, I think, hopefully I'm pronouncing it correct, Laredo, they actually recovered from a ransomware virus. So city of Baltimore, Baltimore County, I hope y'all learned something. But the city of Laredo, it was, I want to say they were probably down for like 24 hours and some change, barely, if that. But they were hit with, it was a ransomware virus encrypted a document management system used by the city secretary's office, and they were hit with ransomware at like 1:30 in the morning. So all city employees' computers had to be shut off on Wednesday to contain the virus. The fire, police, utilities, and health departments were intentionally isolated, to keep the virus away, and those are their most critical systems, right. Also. But they said no employee information was affected. Their IT people contacted the police contacted the FBI. The FBI was able to, say that they did all the protocols weren't in place and they did everything correctly. But they even said they were prepared for this. Like they bought cyber insurance and they performed backups nightly. So even though city of Laredo is probably not as big as Baltimore, you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And this is Baltimore's second time getting hit by ransomware.
You would think a large major city like that should be prepared in their budget, but they have a lot of other things going on.
I'm about to say the whole city in shambles.
They've been in a lot of turmoil. So there's a digital solutions company called HCL. And being a new hire, you share all your information with your company when you're hired, and you think it's safe, right? Well, HCL, their employee data wasn't safe, and even some of their customers. They ended up finding out that they were storing personal information and passwords in plain text for either clients or some of their employees. So it's about 364 records of new hires was left out there, unprotected. It included their candidate ID, their name, their mobile phone number, when they joined, where they located at, even the recruiter, any username that they were created in a database. And it was just ridiculous.
Can you imagine? I finally get this job. I need this job. And then the candidate database gets, because that normally, if they do direct deposit, they got your banking routing information.
Yes.
So it's like they already messed your money up already.
And they're supposed to be the ones helping you get your money right.
Man, wait till GDPR. Wait till the EU find out about this, because was it an international company?
No, I think it's just...
Wait. We said this was a digital solutions company.
They didn't solve anything for their employees at that point, but they have 135,000 employees, so it seems like they're having a hard time managing this sheer volume of people.
Oh, for 135. I'm not even gonna be shady. But I was on vacation, living it up.
Like I said, I saw you. I was happy for you. That's what you needed.
Definitely
To recover from your
much
burnout.
needed. But I think it was definitely I think Friday, like after my day, I was just laying down, relaxing. So I'm checking my emails or whatever, and then I see this email. Emails like, I'm sorry to inform you, or just, hey, just let you know we messed up.
That's never good.
Man, this is like when you're a security professional and you get got, it hurts.
Yeah.
But I think I have like a credit monitoring system, and they already told me like it was on the dark web, and I ignored it. So it's like that came previously, and then I read the final email. But tech unicorn Canva out of Australia suffered a security breach. The hacker, it was done by an infamous hacker.
They didn't release a name.
They did, but I don't be wanting to give them no
credit.
no clout. No, you ain't gonna get
No
that
free
promo on
advertising.
here. Yeah, pretty much, because this person, like, this is their whole, like, they go with a vengeance just to do this. So the hacker claims that they stole stolen data of 139 million Canva users. Yes. And the stolen data included details from customer usernames, their real names, phone numbers, email addresses, city, country, all of that stuff. And for 61 million users' password, they were actually encrypted in the database using bcrypt, which is one of the strongest algorithms for hashing.
Were you in those people that was using bcrypt?
No, so the way I got was they actually stole the Google tokens. Me being a person, I didn't want to create an account for Canva, so I'm like, all right, let me just log in with Google.
You're being lazy that one little time.
The one little time, and like we always talk about like single sign on, and that being like a source of failure. Boom, I'm a perfect example of that. The company did say, we securely store our password using the highest of standards. And, there's no evidence that our credentials have been compromised. But as a safeguard, we are advising all of our users to update their password.
Right.
Luckily for me, I just so had to be checking a spam email because I was trying to see what kind of coupons I had to, use at a restaurant.
You using a burner account.
Yeah. So
okay.
it really, they definitely really didn't get far, didn't get much, but it's just annoying, man. Like,
it really is.
And Canva's used like 139 million Canva users were affected. You know how many people use Canva? Like, I think social media people.
I thought about using Canva, but I didn't.
I see. I was trying to get on my brain and stuff, trying to learn some tricks, and then you got.
Yeah, I was that close, and then.
But I did update my password just in case the infamous is watching. I've already done that, but I use a different burner account to create an actual account instead of doing just logging in with Google.
Probably. You learned your lesson.
Man, other little stuff, it just be little stuff, so it's just like, no, it's not that serious. But I was like, dang, this one for real.
Yeah.
You got any church announcements?
Not really. The only thing I saw that came through is U.S. CERT said that that there was a bunch of vulnerabilities, high and medium, that was found in Adobe Acrobat, and the patches should be out.
Well, as usual, patch everything, everything.
Don't be like Baltimore.
Oh my gosh. But I feel like Acrobat always has some security. Do people even use Adobe anymore?
Yeah, Adobe is widely used.
Well, don't come for me, Adobe. I ain't know.
Widely used.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
I'm Jay.
I'm T.
And that's it.